You know, we also proved, and Tom, thank you for mentioning my friendship and the work that I did with Paul Wellstone, whom we all miss. I miss him every day, and I'm sure I will for the rest of my life. Nobody cared more about kids in public schools than Paul and Sheila Wellstone. Nobody fought harder for the voiceless, for the underdog, for the little guy than Paul Wellstone. He was a heck of a partner. Like I said to Patrick Kennedy the other day, we really need Paul to get this done in the conference, this Mental Health and Treatment Equity Act. It's simply wrong to discriminate against people with addiction and mental illness. 54 million Americans suffering the ravages of mental illness, 26 million Americans suffering from chemical dependency, and we're allowing insurance companies to discriminate in treatment, limiting stays to 7 days. Well, who can get on the road to recovery or get treated for schizophrenia in 7 days? Who can pay the unconscionably high co-payments and deductibles that they impose for diseases of the brain, which they don't impose for diseases of the body? It's time to treat diseases of the brain the same as diseases of the body. And Paul Wellstone, not Jim Ramstad or Patrick Kennedy, Paul Wellstone deserves the credit. He's the one who wrote the first bill. He's the one who got me involved 12 years ago in this effort. And I had when my party controlled for 12 years, I was the chief sponsor, being from the majority party. Always had a majority of the House as co-sponsors, and I couldn't even get a hearing, let alone a vote on mental health parity. Well, the election changed that. We got a vote. We were able to pass it with 47 Republican votes. So we passed it 289 160, I think, was the final vote. And now we got to get it done in the conference. But I'll never forget working with Paul on that legislation. He called me. He always called me about midnight. You know, he never slept. And Rammer, how many co-sponsors you get today? I said, well, I only got one, Paul. So he sat down. Don't get down. He'd always use this reference. He said, remember, and this is good for all of us to remember. Remember, it took 40 years to pass the Civil Rights Act. 40 years from the time it was first conceived to pass the Civil Rights Act in 1964, my senior year in high school, May of 1964. Well, we've been working on this for 12 years, and we're hopeful we can get the conference committee done this year, and we can get people who need treatment into treatment and deal with America's #1 public health problem. In conclusion, let me just say, with all of these challenges ahead, more than ever, we have to take off our Republican hats, take off our Democrat hats. I'm not sure independents wear hats, but we got to come together as Americans. You know, we really do have to come together as Americans. Americans who have always made public education a top priority. Americans who walk into the Jefferson Memorial and see what Mr. Jefferson, as in Thomas said so wisely, founding of the Republic, that the public school is a cornerstone of democracy. Some people in America, too many politicians in America, who make a habit of trashing teachers and bashing public education, too many of them have forgotten that basic premise upon which our country was founded. Public school is the cornerstone of our democracy. Now, when I talk about coming together, I'm not talking about singing Kumbaya, holding hands on the Capitol steps. I'm talking about finding common ground to adequately support public education and provide maximum flexibility at the local level to manage our schools and teach our children. I'm talking about what President John F. Kennedy said 47 years ago in that celebrated inaugural address. And I'm quoting now, with a good conscience, our only sure reward, with history the final judge of our deeds, let us go forth to lead the land we love, asking His blessing and His help, but knowing that here on earth, God's work must truly be our own. It's time for Congress and the President to lead the land we love and do our work in the best interest of children. Thank you for doing your work so well. Thank you for your friendship, your support, your counsel for the past 28 years. May God bless you for your countless contributions to the children of Minnesota.